The coffee grows cold in my hands as I stare at the blank phone screen. No messages, no calls, nothing. Today marks my 30th year on this planet, and somehow I'm more invisible than ever. I walk to my kitchen window, watching neighbors rush to work while I stand here in my pajamas, waiting for someone to remember I exist. The silence in my apartment feels thick, like fog rolling off the bay. My reflection stares back from the microwave door. Tired eyes, messy hair, and the look of someone who's been disappointed one too many times. I grab my laptop and scroll through social media, torturing myself with other people's happiness. There's my sister Maya's latest post from her art gallery opening. Champagne glasses, fancy dresses, our parents beaming with pride in the background. Mom's comment glows at the top. So proud of our talented daughter. Your artwork makes our hearts sing. Dad added his own praise. Maya continues to amaze us all. Pure genius runs in our family. The knife in my chest twists deeper with each word of praise she gets so easily. I close the laptop and pull up my work portfolio instead. Page after page of successful marketing campaigns I've created. The fitness brand that doubled their sales. The tech startup that went viral because of my strategy. The restaurant chain that expanded nationwide after my campaign launch. Each project represents months of late nights, creative battles, and victories that nobody in my family knows about. A tear drops onto the screen, blurring the image of my most recent award ceremony. The one where I stood alone on stage, accepting recognition while my family celebrated Maya's art show across town. Memories flood back like a broken dam. Age 8, birthday party cancelled because Maya had a crucial art lesson. Age 15, graduation dinner moved because Maya's art competition couldn't be missed. Age 22, college celebration forgotten entirely because Maya's first gallery showing was the same weekend. I've spent 30 years being the supporting character in my own life story. The backup singer while Maya took center stage. The applauding audience while she received standing ovations. Today was supposed to be different. Today I turned 30. Today nobody cares. I walk to my bedroom closet and pull out the bank statement I've been hiding from the world. $89,247 in savings. The result of years of living small, thinking small, being small. Plus the recent $42,000 bonus from the campaign that saved my company from bankruptcy. Money that nobody knows about because nobody asks. I stare at the numbers, feeling something dangerous spark inside my chest. A wild idea. Crazy thought. A moment of pure rebellion against 3 decades of being forgotten. What if today is the day I finally celebrate myself? My hands shake as I reach for my phone. The Google search feels forbidden. Luxury car dealerships near me. Mercedes, BMW, Audi brands I've admired from afar but never imagined owning. The rebellion grows stronger with each click. For years I've saved every penny while watching my family spend freely on Maya's art supplies, gallery showings and dream trips. Today that changes. Today I buy myself the birthday present I deserve. Today I refuse to be invisible anymore. Sterling Motors, this is Jason speaking. How can I help you? The cheerful voice answers after 3 rings. My voice comes out steadier than expected. Hi, I'm interested in purchasing an Audi today. Something in the luxury range. Silence on the other end. Then, today. As in, right now today. I look around my empty apartment, at the forgotten birthday cake mix still sitting on my counter, at the phone that hasn't buzzed once. Yes, today. I'm ready to make a purchase immediately. Well, we close in 2 hours, but if you're serious about buying, I can stay late. Jason's tone shifts from casual to professional. I'm absolutely serious, I reply, surprising myself with a conviction in my voice. I'll be there in 30 minutes. I hang up and look at my reflection in the hallway mirror. Something has changed in my eyes. There's fire there now. Determination. After 30 years of waiting for my family to see me, I'm finally going to see myself clearly. The drive to the dealership feels like escaping from prison. Each mile puts distance between me and the disappointment of this forgotten birthday. The showroom glows like a cathedral when I arrive. Luxury vehicles arranged like precious jewels under perfect lighting. Jason meets me at the entrance. Young, eager, probably wondering if I can actually afford what I'm looking at. Welcome to Sterling Motors. Jason. What brings you in today? I straighten my shoulders. I want to buy an Audi. Something that makes a statement. He leads me through the showroom, past models I've only seen in commercials. Then I see it. A pristine white Audi Q8, sitting in the corner like it's been waiting specifically for me. The price tag makes my stomach flip. $54,900. More money than I've ever spent on anything. More than my parents spent on Maya's first car, which they bought without hesitation. This one, I say, running my hand along the glossy surface. This is the one. Jason blinks. Would you like to test drive it first? No need. I want this exact car. The words feel powerful leaving my mouth. In the finance office, paperwork spreads across a mahogany desk like a contract with my new life. How will you be financing this purchase? The manager asks, fingers poised over his calculator. I'll put down $40,000 in cash and finance the rest. His eyebrows shoot up so fast I almost laugh. $40,000. In cash. I nod calmly while inside. My heart races with excitement and terror in equal measure. May I ask your profession? He's trying to hide his surprise, but I can see the gears turning. People like me don't usually walk in off the street with cash for luxury cars. Marketing director. I answer simply. I recently completed a campaign that saved my company from closure. I don't mention the sleepless nights, the creative battles, or the way my success story remains invisible to my own family. The keys feel impossibly heavy in my palm when he finally hands them over. Congratulations on your new Audi, Miss Chen. Jason walks beside me toward my purchase, clearly still processing what just happened. I catch my reflection in the gleaming white paint and hardly recognize myself. There's confidence in my posture now. Strength in my stance. For the first time in my life, I look like someone who matters. Someone worth celebrating. Someone who refuses to wait for permission to treat herself well. The engine purrs to life like a satisfied cat when I turn the key. Back home, I park in my building's lot and spend 10 minutes just sitting inside my new car. The leather seats smell like possibility. The dashboard displays my name on the welcome screen. Everything about this moment feels surreal, like I've stepped into someone else's life. But it's not someone else's life. It's mine. For the first time in 30 years, I've chosen to celebrate myself instead of waiting for others to remember I exist. The feeling is both terrifying and absolutely intoxicating. I grab my phone and head back downstairs. This moment needs to be captured. I position the car against the city skyline backdrop, adjusting angles until the shot looks perfect. The white Audi gleams under the streetlights like a beacon of self-worth. I take dozens of photos, selecting the best one where the car looks most impressive, most expensive, most like the statement I'm trying to make. The caption takes forever to write. I type and delete, searching for words that capture this moment of rebellion. Finally, I settle on something simple but powerful. Birthday gift to myself. Sometimes you have to be your own celebration. My finger hovers over the post button for what feels like hours. This isn't just sharing a photo. This is announcing to the world that I matter, that I have value, that I refuse to be invisible anymore. I press post before I can change my mind. The notifications start immediately. Friends from college, co-workers, old neighbors. Everyone seems impressed, surprised, curious about my sudden luxury purchase. But it's the phone call that makes my blood freeze. Sophia. Mom's voice cuts through the evening like a sword. She never uses my full name unless she's angry. Where did you get money for that car? No happy birthday. No congratulations. Just immediate interrogation about how I could possibly afford something nice for myself. I earned it, Mom. I try to keep my voice steady while my heart pounds. That car costs more than most people make in a year, Sophia. This is completely irresponsible financial behavior. Dad, come look at what your daughter just posted on Instagram. I hear her call out. The step. Muffled conversation. Then Dad's voice takes over. Sophia, please tell me this is some kind of lease arrangement or rental for a photo shoot. The disappointment in his voice stings worse than Mom's anger. It's mine, Dad. I bought it with my bonus money. What bonus money? Now he sounds genuinely confused, as if the idea of me succeeding professionally is completely foreign to him. The bonus from the campaign that saved my company. Silence stretches between us like a canyon. We need to discuss this as a family, Mom declares, her tone leaving no room for argument. Tomorrow night, 6 o'clock sharp. This kind of impulsive spending requires intervention. I almost laugh at the word intervention, like buying myself a nice car is some kind of addiction. Fine. I agree because part of me wants this confrontation. Part of me has been waiting 30 years for this moment. After hanging up, I sit in my new car in the empty parking lot. The leather seats cradle me like a supportive friend. The silence inside feels different from the lonely silence in my apartment. This silence feels protective, empowering. I start the engine and drive toward downtown, letting the city lights blur past my windows. I find a late-night bakery near the waterfront, the kind of place that understands emergency cake needs. I need a birthday cake, I tell the baker, a kind woman with flour-dusted hands. Any particular message? She asks, already reaching for her piping bag. Happy 30th birthday, Sophia. From your biggest fan. She smiles as she writes the words in elegant script across chocolate frosting. Your biggest fan? She asks curiously. Myself, I answer, and for the first time today, I smile genuinely. Sometimes you have to be your own cheerleader. She slides the cake across the counter with a knowing look. Happy birthday, honey. Make it count. Back in the car, I place the cake carefully on the passenger seat like a precious cargo. In the rearview mirror, I see a woman I'm just beginning to recognize. Someone who knows her worth. Someone who refuses to wait for permission to celebrate herself. Someone who has finally learned that the most important approval she needs is her own. The cake sits beside me like a passenger as I navigate the quiet streets, heading home to finish celebrating the birthday that nobody else remembered to acknowledge. The next evening, my new Audi crunches across the familiar gravel of my parents' driveway. Through the living room window, I can see them all waiting. Mom pacing, Dad in his reading chair, Maya perched on the couch looking uncomfortable. They watch me park, their expressions ranging from disapproval to curiosity. I take a deep breath and grab the small gift bag I prepared. Tonight is going to be different. Tonight, I'm not the forgotten daughter seeking approval. Tonight, I'm a woman who knows her worth. Mom opens the door before I can knock. Sophia, come in. We need to talk. Her tone suggests I'm in trouble, like I'm still a teenager who missed curfew. Dad rises from his chair as I enter. His expression stern. Maya avoids eye contact, clearly uncomfortable with the family tension. The dining room has been set for a formal discussion. Water glasses, notepads, the whole production. Sit down, Mom commands, gesturing to the chair across from them. I remain standing for a moment, looking at each face in turn. Before we start, I say, placing my gift bag on the table. I brought something. Mom eyes the bag suspiciously. This isn't about gifts, Sophia. This is about your shocking financial irresponsibility. I ignore her comment and open the bag, pulling out a framed photo. It shows me on stage at the Marketing Excellence Awards, holding the trophy I won for saving my company. The photo also shows the empty seats where my family should have been sitting. This is what my bonus was for. The room falls silent as they stare at the photo. Dad clears his throat awkwardly. When was this? His voice sounds smaller now, uncertain. 3 months ago. The same weekend as Maya's gallery opening. Keep my voice calm and level. The same weekend you all flew to Portland to support her art career. Mom shifts uncomfortably in her seat. We didn't know about any award ceremony. The unspoken truth hangs heavy in the air. They didn't know because they never asked about my life. Maya finally speaks up, her voice barely above a whisper. Sophia, I had no idea you won an award. That's huge. I nod at my sister, seeing genuine surprise in her eyes. The campaign I created increased company revenue by 400%. We went from near bankruptcy to record profits. That's why I received a $42,000 bonus. Dad's mouth opens and closes like a fish. Mom stares at the photo as if seeing me for the first time. The recognition I've craved for 30 years is finally dawning on their faces. But spending that entire bonus on a car. Mom starts, then trails off when she sees my expression. I didn't spend the entire bonus on the car, I interrupt. I spent less than half. The rest went into my retirement fund and emergency savings. The responsible financial planning seems to surprise them more than the luxury purchase. You've been saving money? Dad asks, as if the concept of me being financially responsible is completely foreign. For years, Dad. While you assumed I was struggling. We never assumed you were struggling, Mom protests, but her voice lacks conviction. You just never talked about money or success or... She gestures helplessly at the photo. Because none of you ever asked. I say simply. For 30 years, every conversation has been about Maya's art, Maya's achievements, Maya's dreams. I became invisible in my own family. The words hang in the air like smoke from a fire that's been smoldering for decades. Maya's eyes fill with tears. Sophia, I never realized. She starts, but I hold up my hand. This isn't about blame, Maya. You didn't create this dynamic. You just benefited from it. I turn to my parents, feeling stronger with each word. But I refuse to be invisible anymore. I bought that car as a celebration of my worth, my success, my refusal to wait for your approval. Dad stares at his hands, looking older than I've ever seen him. Mom dabs at her eyes with a tissue. We're proud of you, Mom whispers, but the words feel hollow after 30 years of silence. Are you? Ask gently. Because pride isn't just a feeling. It's action. Showing up. It's remembering birthdays and asking about careers and celebrating achievements. I gesture to the photo on the table. I stood on that stage alone, accepting an award that represented the biggest professional moment of my life. The empty seats where you should have been sitting tell the real story. Dad finally looks up, his eyes red-rimmed. We didn't know how important your work was to you. The admission hangs between us like a bridge I'm not sure I'm ready to cross. Everything I've ever done has been important to me, I reply. The difference is that I stopped waiting for you to notice. I stand up, gathering my purse. I'm not asking for apologies or promises to change. I'm simply stating that I've changed. I celebrate myself now. I recognize my own worth. Maya reaches toward me, tears streaming down her face. Please don't leave like this. We can do better. I can do better. Her vulnerability catches me off guard. For the first time in our adult lives, she's not the shining star but just my little sister, scared of losing our relationship. I'm not leaving forever, Maya. I'm just leaving this conversation before it becomes something we'll all regret. I head toward the door, my new car keys feeling solid and reassuring in my hand. The car suits you, Dad calls out as I reach the doorway. I turn back to see him attempting something that might be a smile. It's not much, but it's more recognition than I've received from him in years. Thank you, I say simply. It feels like me. Outside, the evening air tastes like freedom. My Audi sits in the driveway like a white knight, ready to carry me away from 30 years of feeling small. The leather seats welcome me like an old friend as I settle behind the wheel. I don't drive straight home. Instead, I find myself at the waterfront, parked facing the city lights reflected in the dark water. My phone buzzes with text messages. Mom apologizing, Dad asking about my work, Maya wanting to meet for coffee. For the first time, they're reaching out to me instead of expecting me to orbit around their lives. The attention feels strange after so many years of invisibility. I'm not sure yet if I trust it, but it's a start. The city sparkles before me like scattered diamonds on black velvet. Somewhere out there are other people celebrating birthdays, achieving dreams, buying themselves gifts they deserve. For the first time in my life, I feel part of that celebration instead of watching from the outside. My reflection in the side mirror shows a woman who has finally learned to see herself clearly. Not through her family's eyes or society's expectations, but through her own recognition of her worth and achievements. 6 months later, I'm back in my Audi, but this time I'm not driving away from confrontation. I'm driving toward my first solo art exhibition. Not Maya's, but mine. After years of creating marketing campaigns for other people's dreams, I've finally pursued my own passion for photography. The gallery invitation sits on my passenger seat, elegant and official, with my name in bold letters across the top. My phone buzzes with messages from colleagues, friends, and yes, even my family. Mom's text reads, "So proud of your exhibition tonight. Dad and I will be there with flowers." Maya added, "Can't wait to see your work displayed properly. You deserve this spotlight." The messages feel different now, more genuine, less obligatory. Perhaps because I'm no longer desperately seeking their approval. When you stop needing validation, people seem more willing to offer it freely. I park outside the gallery and take a deep breath, preparing for another milestone that I'm finally ready to celebrate. Inside the gallery, my photographs line the walls like windows into my soul. Cityscapes captured during late-night drives in my Audi. Portraits of everyday people celebrating small victories. Abstract compositions that represent the journey from invisibility to self-recognition. A small crowd has gathered, wine glasses in hand, studying my work with genuine interest. For the first time in my life, I'm the center of attention at my own event, and it feels natural rather than foreign. Maya arrives first, her eyes wide as she takes in my photographs. "Sophia, these are incredible. I had no idea you were this talented." Coming from someone whose art has been celebrated our entire lives, her praise carries weight. "I've been taking pictures for years," I tell her. "I just never had the confidence to share them." She nods, understanding something about hidden talents and delayed recognition. "Well, you're sharing them now, and they're brilliant." Mom and Dad arrive together, looking slightly out of place but genuinely curious about my work. Dad stops in front of a photograph I took of my Audi parked outside our family home, the night of our confrontation. "This one tells a story," he says quietly, "about someone finding their voice." His insight surprises me. Maybe he's been paying attention more than I realized. Mom touches my arm gently. "We're learning to see you clearly, sweetheart. Better late than never." The gallery owner approaches with a red dot sticker, my first sale of the evening. "The Cityscape series is particularly popular," she informs me. 3 pieces sold already. I watch her place the red dots next to my photographs, marking them as claimed, valued, worthy of investment. The same feeling I had when I bought my Audi returns. The sensation of being seen, recognized, celebrated. But this time it's not just self-recognition. It's the world acknowledging what I've always known about my worth. As the evening progresses, I find myself surrounded by admirers, collectors, and fellow artists. Conversations flow naturally about composition, lighting, emotional impact. For once, I'm not talking about someone else's success or standing in someone else's spotlight. This is my moment, my achievement, my celebration. The little girl who learned to make herself small has grown into a woman who knows how to take up space. The transformation feels complete yet ongoing, like a butterfly still discovering its wings. Maya finds me during a quiet moment between conversations. "I owe you an apology," she says, her voice serious. "Not just for tonight, but for 30 years of not seeing your talent, your struggles, your achievements. I study my sister's face, seeing genuine remorse mixed with newfound respect. We were both products of the same family dynamic, I tell her. The difference is that now we can choose to change it. She nods, tears glistening in her eyes. I want to do better. As your sister and as a person. By the end of the evening, 7 photographs have sold, and I've been invited to participate in a group exhibition next spring. The gallery owner shakes my hand warmly. This won't be your last show here, she promises. Your work has something special. Authenticity that comes from lived experience. As the crowd disperses and the lights dim, I stand alone among my photographs, feeling a deep satisfaction that no amount of family approval could have provided. This success belongs entirely to me. Outside the gallery, my Audi waits patiently under the streetlights. The same car that started my journey toward self-recognition now carries me home from my first major artistic achievement. The symmetry feels intentional, like the universe rewarding my courage to celebrate myself. As I drive through the quiet streets, I think about the woman who bought this car 6 months ago. Desperate for recognition, angry at being forgotten, finally ready to stop waiting for permission to matter. That woman still exists inside me, but she's been joined by someone stronger. Someone who creates her own celebrations instead of waiting for invitations to the party. Someone who knows that self-worth isn't something you earn from others. It's something you claim for yourself. The city lights blur past my windows as I head home, my phone buzzing with congratulatory messages from tonight's exhibition. Each notification feels like validation, but not the desperate kind I once craved. At home, I park in my usual spot and sit for a moment in the comfortable silence of my car. The leather seats have molded to my body over these months, creating a space that feels entirely my own. I pull out my phone and open the camera app, taking a quick selfie with the gallery invitation visible in the background. The caption writes itself. Some celebrations are worth the wait. This time I post it without hesitation, without fear, without need for approval. A year after my forgotten 30th birthday, I'm planning my 31st celebration. Not because my family suddenly remembers to acknowledge my existence, but because I've learned to mark my own milestones. The invitations have been sent, to friends, colleagues, Maya, even my parents. But unlike previous years, I'm not counting RSVPs or measuring my worth by attendance numbers. Whether 5 people show up or 50, I'll be celebrating someone I've finally learned to love, myself. My Audi has become more than transportation. It's a daily reminder of the moment I chose myself over invisibility. Every morning when I slide behind the wheel, I remember the woman who walked into that dealership with $40,000 and the courage to make a statement. That purchase wasn't really about the car. It was about refusing to remain small, forgotten, overlooked. It was about claiming space in my own life story and demanding to be the protagonist instead of a background character. The relationships with my family have evolved slowly, imperfectly, but genuinely. Mom texts me work updates now, asking about projects and celebrating successes. Dad stops by my photography exhibitions, offering awkward but sincere compliments about my artistic growth. Maya and I have coffee regularly, building an adult friendship based on mutual respect rather than old family dynamics. The changes aren't dramatic, but they're real, rooted in my refusal to accept invisibility as normal. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I'd never bought that car, never posted that photo, never forced that confrontation. Would I still be waiting for birthday calls that never come? Still measuring my worth by other people's attention? Still making myself small to avoid taking up too much space? The alternate version of my story feels suffocating now, like a prison I didn't even realize I was locked inside. The key was always in my hands. I just had to find the courage to use it. My second photography exhibition opens next month at a prestigious downtown gallery. The theme is self-recognition, a series of portraits showing people in moments of discovering their own worth. Each photograph captures that instant when someone stops seeking validation and starts providing it for themselves. The centerpiece of the collection is a self-portrait taken in my Audi, keys in hand, eyes looking directly at the camera with quiet confidence. It's titled, "The Moment I Saw Myself Clearly." The art world has embraced my work with enthusiasm that still surprises me. Gallery owners speak about my authentic voice and emotional honesty. Critics write reviews using words like powerful and transformative. Each accolade feels surreal to someone who spent 30 years convinced she had nothing worthwhile to offer. But I'm learning to accept praise without deflection, to own my achievements without minimizing them, to take up space without apologizing for my presence.